Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you guys are doing well as always. And yeah, I was actually gonna test my new microphone here, but I just realized I don't have the correct end for the Mac. But it's fine. You'll also notice I try to experiment with different lights, for the video. But to be honest, I couldn't really care less. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna figure this out. So um, yeah, so at least the sound is better. And then yeah, hopefully one day I'll fix the lighting as well. But anyways, how's everything with you guys? um the weather is starting to get better here in London, so that's something positive from my side. But I just wanted to make a quick video. Nothing urgent actually. Is it seems I mean, when I look around, I see a lot of people are struggling with this, and there's a couple of things I want to mention, especially about debugging. um I'll probably just get into it. Don't have a lot of time today. It's already lunchtime. So, yeah, debugging. I'm gonna actually cover five things. I sort of just wrote them down here that I actually personally use when I'm developing applications. Because a lot of the times the applications are not they're generally not lucky enough to be working on greenfield projects. Greenfield project is the project where you learn a lot of new things. You have freedom to experiment with a lot of things. That doesn't mean it's easy, but yeah, normally you are gonna face a lot of bugs. And here's a couple of things that I find that seem to work for me, and hopefully it'll help you guys as well. So, okay, what do I have in my list actually? Yeah, at the top of the list I have taking breaks. You know what the thing is with taking breaks? A lot of people seem to be advocating for it, and probably do it because it works. It works. Um, like when you're lifting weight, it's very easy to burn out as well. If you're just usually lifting every day, which is fine for some people, but some people can't lift every day. They'll burn out. They'll get tired. They'll get exhausted, mentally exhausted as well, just by lifting weight, which is funny. You know. So if we use that analogy, if you're lifting weight every day, um, without breaks, without anything, you're gonna get exhausted. So and to be fair, like, we take rest between the sets, right? We try to take as much rest as we can, but not too much, right? You don't want to sleep in the middle of set, but we take enough rest. So it same thing applies for programming. Like, there's nothing different, absolutely nothing different here. You work on a project for an hour, it takes you like 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get into the focus, just trying to remember the things that you worked on yesterday. It takes a little bit, right? And um, it's advisable to just take rest anyway, even when you're not stuck. But a lot of times, what I do when I'm making progress, I'm just making progress. I don't want to take rest, but it makes sense to take rest, a little bit of rest. Just break. So when you're stuck on a problem, taking break does help. It does help. Mind is exhausted, everything. I don't know how mind works and all that, but taking break does work. Um, Taking break doesn't mean you still sit on the computer, like, in front of your desktop, and you're browsing YouTube videos. That is not how you take um, rest, or a break. That's not a way to do it. You have to completely disconnect yourself from that current environment. If, like, I'm sitting here at my desk, and if I need to take break, I'm not gonna sit here and because if I sit here, I'm gonna think about the code. I 100% will, and you will too as well. There's no way around it. The mind is tricky, and you will keep thinking. Don't do that. Take proper break. Go, I don't know, go out for a coffee, go out for a walk, but go out without your phone and all that. But so proper break, proper disconnect. That's number one thing you can do. Now, along with that, what you can also do is take break, but in a slightly different way. What that means is that you just give application a little longer, instead of rushing. I need to do this today, I need to do this today. Instead of rushing, give it a little longer, give it 2 days. So you're automatically adding the gap there. That helps as well, in addition to taking breaks. So that's number one. If you're stuck and you just can't get anywhere, take a break. Just take a short break, go out, completely disconnect from mobile phone, other devices as well. Go have fun, go do some exercise. I don't know, go out in the sun, go have coffee, go for a walk, go cycling. I don't know, really. Just, it's up to you. It's gonna come down to your lifestyle, how you live your life, and what your way of entertainment and fun. So number one is that take break. It's really important. As you get better and better with things, you're gonna need less break. But then obviously you need to be, you'll probably be working on more difficult stuff as well at that time. So you'll need break anyway. Uh, Damn, I just realized I spoken for 6 minutes just from the first point. Need to speed things up, but I don't think I'm gonna edit this video, because who has time for editing video? Really, just don't have time for editing videos. Um, but yeah, take break. It'll help you. And to be fair, if this video is boring and if you can't be asked watching the whole video, that's fine too. Don't watch. Just take break. That'll fix a lot of the problems. Trust me, it does fix a lot of problems. Just like when you're working out, when you're exhausted or something, you're cycling, you're tired, sit at the corner, sit at the bench, and then take rest. That's it. And now let's move to second way to debug things if you're stuck. That is to discuss things. Here is the thing about discussing things, and nobody will tell you this, but it's true. But most experienced programmers know this already. Discuss things, but you don't need an expert. That's the thing. You don't need to discuss things with an expert. You need to discuss things with someone who's willing to listen, and that's it. Like, literally, that's it. Um, if someone is willing to listen to you, just sit there and nod their head like an idiot, complete idiot. Even if they can do that, discuss things with them. Tell them what your issues are. Tell them I'm stuck with this. They're gonna nod their head because they won't understand the technicality of things. But um, uh, sometimes some things come to my mind and I need to take notes. So just pardon me for a second. Anyways, yeah, discuss things with people. Even if you have junior developers, even you have your neighbors, doesn't matter. Just discuss things in a bit more generic way. You know, they don't have to actually help you. They probably won't be able to help you. They don't understand the context of the project you're working on, what exactly you're working on. But that little thing, discuss with them, and it might give you some ideas. If they do um, feel comfortable in giving you their advice, listen carefully. Don't interrupt them. Just listen to what they want to say. Right? So, discussing with anyone, not senior developers, not experts. It can be anyone. Just discuss your issues with anybody. And trust me, it works. It works. A lot of people talk about rubber duck and just you have an object in front of you. You can discuss your issues with that object as well. It works, but real person is real person, real emotions. So you will actually try to make sense. Um, you'll pick your words carefully. You'll think carefully, and you will say things carefully versus an object. So try to discuss things with real person. Okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't need to be an expert. Like I said, it can be anyone. Just discuss things. um yeah, and if the person is willing to do that, thank them for that. Like, literally thank them for that, honestly. Like, thank you so much. um it doesn't matter, you couldn't give me the answer, but it has helped me now. So thank them, always thank them, and it'll trust me, it'll help you eventually. Some things will be clarified during the discussion or after the discussion, or sometimes you'll be like, what I explained to this guy is not what I'm doing, you know if if that's not what you're doing, what you explained to this guy, then something somewhere is wrong. There is a disconnect somewhere. I don't know where, but somewhere is. So then you might go back and then might look at your code again. Then it helps. So that's point number two. First one was take break, completely disconnect. Second one is discuss things with people. Absolutely, trust me. Just discuss things with anybody, your siblings, your friends, anyone. Just discuss, and it does help you. It does help. Yeah. Let's move to now. The first 2 points were a bit non-technical. They're not technical at all, but they do help a lot. The third point here is uh, okay. Okay. So the third point is, um, when you're browsing a code base, you're not working on a small thing. You're never working on a small thing, right? Generally, you're working on a script written by someone else, APIs put together by someone else, and you don't understand the whole. You don't understand the entire code base. You understand some things, but not the whole thing. What ends up happening is like it's a weird thing, but you end up tricking yourself into thinking that there is more than one issue. Okay, if there is a bug with, let's say, let me give you an example. If there is a bug with login, user presses the enters the correct credentials, and then they press the login button. You understand the system, but not fully. That's what's going to happen most of the time. So you click the button, nothing works. The user is not logged in. There is no error. Okay, so you inspect the element. You try to look at the response from the server, and you see what's the response. Then you probably realize it's not returning anything. Then you dig into it and all that. But anyways, what I would advise you to do here is to try to isolate the issue, like exactly what the problem is. When you look at the code base, yeah, go through the stuff one by one, exactly what the problem is or could be. Isolate that stuff. Don't try to fix this. Don't try to fix more than you need to. If the server is not giving the response, okay, you click the button, server doesn't respond with anything, so you write down server doesn't respond with anything. That's number one. Okay, so go in and try to fix that. Don't jump to the next issue. Don't jump to something else that could be happening. Yes, it could be happening. Perhaps there is no data in the database. God knows, but write down the first issue you find and then try to fix that. And once you fix that issue, or and once you understand that issue, then the next problem or solution will come in front of you automatically. So first one was what, the server responds with nothing. So you dig in and you find out why the server is not responding with nothing. Then you might realize that, oh, it's not generating the token. you know so the bearer token for front end. So then you write that issue down and then you fix that. So go one by one. Don't isolate the issue. Don't just try to fix all at once. So theoretically I could write server doesn't respond with nothing, bearer token is missing, this is happening, that is happening, front end doesn't display the correct information. You don't want to do all that. You want to start with what? Server returns nothing, and then go in and fix that problem, that thing. I try to isolate, try to just pinpoint one problem, fix that, and then move to the second problem. What you don't want to do, you note down 6 problems and then you try to just fix all of them, like literally. Don't do that. That doesn't work. um at least in programming it doesn't work. Maybe it works in other fields where you have to multitask and fix everything at once, but that's my experience with this. Pinpoint the issue, don't fix at once. Login doesn't return the data, it's blank. Find out the cause of that. Why is it blank? Go in. Maybe it's throwing an error, in the backend, but try to find out why it's blank. Start with that. Fix that problem. Maybe the new problem will come, or maybe just this will fix everything else. Try to go that way. Don't try to tackle too many things at once. Okay, so let's go through all of these one by one. First one was taking break. Do take break. um, yeah, I mean, needless to say, it works. It's going to help you a lot. Discuss with people, discuss with whoever you can find, thank them, discuss. That's it. Pinpoint the issue. Try to start by fixing one problem. Okay, fix that and then move to the next one, because a lot of times there's going to be multiple issues, or just one, but start with one. Don't start with multiple issues, because otherwise you'll just get confused. You won't be able to fix nothing. You'll go in circles. You fix it, then you break that and all that. Don't do that. Understand one issue, fix that, and then move to next one. And then the fix next one, maybe everything else will fix itself. Okay, so that's it. What do I have here? Fourth, like to number things. Fourth one is also technical. It's how should I say? It's not directly connected with what you're trying to do here, or what you're trying to find in this video at least. It's not directly connected to that. You know what happens a lot of the times is that the applications we build, we think they are unique, they are so specific, so niche, and there is no other applications out there that are like that. But fundamentally, when you look at the patterns, like just grabbing data from 3 different tables, doing this, these patterns, small little things, they are applied, everywhere, in every other application you can find. So what happens a lot of the times, let's say you're facing an issue with a CRM. You don't know how to store certain values. What's the best data type for this or that. What you want to do is you want to browse different code base that does something similar. So for example, if I'm stuck with something in a CRM software, I'm gonna go out and find a free open source CRM software, and I'm gonna look at the source code. I won't just try to find that particular solution to that particular problem. I'll just look at the code in general. How the other guy is doing things. Just the general idea. And what ends up happening is that just by looking at the other people's code bases, you kind of get a sense of how things are done that way. Sometimes you build something and it's just fundamentally wrong. When it's fundamentally wrong, then you want to look at someone else's code, like, oh, that guy has done things in a little different way. So when you try to replicate that, your issues just disappear automatically. It might create new problems somewhere, but most issues just disappear. So fourth one is to look at other people's code base. Okay, if you're working on something like Salesforce, find a CRM. Okay, if you're writing a deployment script, find a deployment script written by someone else on GitHub. What's your problem? Do that. Browse their code. Look at how they're doing things. Don't just try to find that particular solution, because you won't find, because your application is different, but you will find similarities, and from that you can get some idea, and you might be able to fix your issue. Like I said, it's not directly related, but it does help. So it's like if you're building a computer, you don't have to. If you're building a Mac, you don't. Let's say you're building Mac from scratch. I don't know how Mac is built, but let's say you're building it from scratch. I would say, to build a Mac from scratch, or to build something similar, you don't have to open up a Mac. You don't have to read all the documentation. This. No, you don't have to. You can find a Windows computer. Look at the parts that Windows uses. Look at how things work there. Look at how file system works. Look at how the search works there, and then bring it into your own system, and it'll help you. All right. So I think 20 minutes in, I'll just try to cover this last point quickly. And if you're still watching the video, thank you. Make sure to subscribe. Yeah, I don't know when the next video will come out, but Sometimes when you're a content creator, you get sucked into creating content, and you just create content, too much content. I can't do that. I have other things to do. So if something good comes to mind, I'll just spend some time, but the priorities are always different. you know Now the fifth one is also simple. It's not really technical. Now here's the thing, a lot of people will give you technical solutions. Technical solutions are not fit all. They cannot be reapplied to different projects in different context. It's a funny thing, but a lot of people on TikTok and all that, they'll give you technically you can do this right if condition, use dependency injection to fix this issue, and then you're not gonna have issues. You will always have issues. What you need is a net. You need to learn how to fish, so you can go out. You don't need me. You don't need me to do solve your problems. You can go out and you can apply these principles and find solution yourself. Without needing someone else. Okay, so last point here quickly, writing things down. What happens a lot of times is you get a task. This thing is not working. Let's go back to login page. Okay, you might be said, oh, the user can't log in. Okay, that's fine, but then what, right? User can't log in, is it doesn't give you a lot of information. Let's say you start digging into things, and you find that server is not responding with correct status. It's not responding with no any JSON at all. And then you look at the code. There's something going on there. Something, maybe server issue. I don't know. Something else is someone implemented new headers on the server, and it's causing issue with the login. I don't know, but write all this down. Okay, write all this down, and write it in like a paragraph. But it's almost like you're trying to explain to someone else what the issue could be, and you write things down, and just clarify things to yourself. When I click this is what happens, and then this happens, this is what happens. By writing things down, what you're trying to do is, how should I explain this? uh, Sometimes you need to come up with good examples people understand. If I go in and write down why the user can't log in, what I think based on my research and browsing the code base, I might end up with the 6-7 lines. Okay, which is fine. And then you have it written here. Okay, now you read this. Okay, and then you're like, oh wow, this third line is a bit weird. It doesn't make any sense to me. You look at the code, you cross check, and then you go back here, and then you fix that your understanding. Whatever your understanding was, then you correct it on the page. So you end up with maybe a little longer, a little bit more text. So now it's in written, right? It's here vaguely, but it's in written here. What happens is that when you look at that and you read it like a human, not technically, don't make it very technical, like a human, you will start seeing, like, when I go from this line to this line, something else is happening. This is working, this is working, this is working, but that it's from sixth line something starts happening. It can get the token, it can the information is in the database, it can get the token, and it doesn't return the token, and then you realize, oh, there's a hole here, there's an issue here. So write things down so you can explain things better to yourself. And when you explain things better to yourself, it's a lot easier to find solution. The huge issue, like I said in point, I don't know which one, pinpointing the issue, like I said, if you don't pinpoint the issue, your brain is going to be everywhere, which is why I said, if you write things down, you will know exactly what you're thinking, and then you write it down, and you look at it, and you read it out loud, and you will start seeing the problems. So writing things down when you're really stuck, just, what I don't know how to actually explain it. A lot of people do this and it works. Writing things down when you're really stuck does help. I don't know why it helps, but next time you get stuck, try to write things down and make it as clear as possible. Make it as clear as possible. And if you think there is an issue with with the with third line or fourth line, try to do something like this. Put an exclamation mark near that line. Now everything is in text, and it, it tells you that where the issues could be, because you have marked some lines with warning signs, and then you go into the code base and you fix the issue. Okay, try to fix the issue, but at least you have things written what the exact problem is. Because a lot of times we get distracted. I'll just go make coffee right now. I might get distracted, really. I'll get distracted, and then I come back, and if I don't have things written down here, and I don't know where I'll pick, I don't know which thought is going to come to my brain and where I'll carry on. I don't want to keep going in circles. So I'll write down, this is the issue, this is the exact issue in details with warning signs, you know. And when I come back, or even when I just go for a walk or what, when I come back, and I can just dive exactly where I left off. So that's why writing things down is really important, because let's say you just open a different file. Let's say you just start browsing code in a different file trying to find something. Okay, that's a distraction. And if you don't have it written here, what you were doing earlier, you're going to start off from a completely different place. That little thought, that something meaningful that came to your mind 2 minutes ago is now gone, and you lost it. Which is why writing things down will, most of the time, it will solve your problems. And to be fair, it's all connected. Like all these 5 points I said, they're all connected. And most of the time, taking break will fix things. And then if it doesn't fix things, then you just go deeper and deeper. You try to discuss with other people. You try to pinpoint the issue and then fix just that. And then browse other people's code base. If you're really stuck and you just no solution. And then, yeah, obviously writing. I think maybe the write the issue down should be at the top. I don't know, but yeah, that's it. I think I don't have anything else. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I know as a program, there's a lot of the times people deploy or apply certain techniques that they never share, because it's something they've spent hours and hours, and they'll never share with anyone. So if you have something nice to share that you feel like you can comfortably share to debug problems, feel free to share. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. um yeah, I'll post a couple more videos when I have time. Goodbye for now.